Well, guys, another SnowRunner update is about to drop, and if you want all of the info, then you're in the right place. So let's go ahead and jump right into everything that's coming in this update. So let's get one thing out of the way right off the bat, and that is PS4. Now, the PS4 community around SnowRunner has been very, very vocal about the issues they've had with the game, particularly about the graphics ever since the Rift update. And the developers themselves said, we've been following all feedback after the Rift update closely and are aware of some issues that have to be resolved, particularly on PS4. They go on to say, PS4 plus Xbox One hotfix on the way. They said, we want to take a moment to explain what caused the downgrade to the graphics on PS4. They said this was actually a side effect of some memory and rendering fixes we made, increasing stability considerably, which caused some of the textures to now take longer to fully load and PS4 dynamic scaling to activate more often. They've said our team is carefully working on optimizing the build to improve the rendering without impacting the stability. Now, they go on to say the next goal is a consoles-only hotfix for the first step in restoring the PS4 graphics to normal. They go on to say, we also aim to include the implementation of the Logitech G29 and G920 steering wheels on PS4 and Xbox One. So there's a lot of good stuff in there, a ton of good stuff, especially some really good news for the PS4 people and a little bit more of a deep explanation of what actually happened and why their graphics sort of took a little bit of a downturn after the Rift update was released. And I would love to hear from my PS4 people in the comment section down below on how that Rift update actually affected you personally, because I don't really play the game on PS4. I play it mostly on PC. I've played it a little bit on Xbox, but mostly on PC, and a lot of the content that I have made with SnowRunner has been on the PC, and because of that, I haven't really been able to experience some of the issues that a lot of these PS4 guys have been having specifically. They then go on to say that the public test server is going to be returning to PC. They've said the PTS will be back soon, this time with the long-awaited map-making tools for modders. This is huge. This is absolutely enormous stuff. The fact that they are announcing that the map creator and the map editor tools are going to be coming back in with the next round of the public test server. They've said this tool will also include the ability to work on vehicles, but the ability to create missions and objectives will come later. So that's another interesting one, because think about it. They're basically sort of foreshadowing to the effect of being able to create your own maps, but also create your own contracts, tasks, trials, and effectively create your own map with its own ecosystem, which is a huge deal. They've said, we're excited to hear all your feedback in order to make modding on SnowRunner the best it can be. Just think of all the maps. They've said maybe somebody will make an underwater map so the Octo truck can be used as nature intended, which I don't know if anybody's ever going to make anything like that, but it'll definitely be an interesting one to see. They've said when the public test server goes live, they'll make an announcement so you don't miss it. Now, they go on to also talk about the Season Pass Phase 1 Search and Recover, because there have been a lot of people that have been asking, especially on my streams, they've been like, well, where is Phase 1? When is Phase 1 coming? What's happening with Phase 1? Where is Phase 1? And they actually address that here, and they've said it's on the way. And they also said that after the hotfix drops, the development team will be doubling down on Phase 1 of the Season Pass, which will bring exclusive content to all Season Pass owners, such as a new snow region in the Russian tundra, as well as a bunch of free content to all players on top of that, including new extreme cargo, new trials, and new skins. Now, they've said here as well that all of the Phase 1 content will be spaced out between several updates, and that this is actually really interesting, and that players without the Season Pass will be able to experience it through co-op with a friend that does have the Season Pass. So if you don't have it, you can actually still play around with that stuff in a co-op game with a friend of yours that does have it. So it's actually a really interesting thing that they're doing there with that, and I would love to hear your feedback in the comments down below on what you think of them handling it in that way. Now let's dive into talking a little bit about the community and what I've seen and what I've experienced from being very deep into this game and seeing multiple different sides of the community. I've seen one side that's definitely more on the edge of well, you know, I understand that there are going to be issues at launch. Let's give them a little bit of time to work it out. And I've also seen another side of the community that's more on the side of this game, like this game should not have been released this way. This game that, you know, issue this, issue that. How could this ever happen? Blah, 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 blah. And I know that I've said this before, but I think a lot of those guys really need to be patient, man, because at the end of the day, you know, saying, oh, this game shouldn't have been released this way, this and that, and this and that, blah, 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 and I'm going to get so mad and angry and tell people not to buy the game. That doesn't help the game grow. That doesn't help the game go anywhere. That doesn't help the developers get anything done. Simply making the developers aware of issues that you find will be a huge improvement to the actual post-launch development and post-launch life cycle of SnowRunner as a whole. They also address here that they are aware of several areas that need improvement, including steering on consoles, the tasks in the user interface, LAN co-op, and more. And they said, thank you for continuing to provide us with feedback so we can address these issues faster. So again, I mean, they are looking, they are watching, and they are taking all of these things into account as quickly as they possibly can. And I can only imagine what it feels like to be in their shoes, getting all of this different feedback from so many different sides of the community all at once, and having to sort of allocate their time and resources to be able to focus on each issue as it either crops up or individually as it goes. Now, I'm sure there are going to be people out there that are still going to be salty about some of the issues that are in the game right now, but let me be perfectly 100% clear about this. I think they have been doing a great job with staying on top of everything. Now, could they have made a statement about the PS4 issues a little quicker? Maybe, but then again, who am I to say? Because maybe they were already deep into other development in different areas of the game that maybe they weren't able to address that as quickly as they would have liked to. Now, in a game like this, when you have post-launch evolution of a game, there are inevitably going to be things that crop up when you try to fix something else. I mean, think about it like a project car or a project truck, for example. You fix one thing and something else may crop up. And that doesn't always happen on, you know, old like builds of vehicles. Sometimes you could be working on a brand new car, and a lot of the people that were early adopters of the new, I know it's going to be kind of a weird comparison, but a lot of people that were early adopters of the new Supra, for example, and started taking them to the track early on, started unearthing a lot of problems that there weren't fixes for yet. And I think that's what we're seeing here with SnowRunner, is that, are there problems? Sure. Is it still a functional game that is a blast to play? Absolutely. And are there fixes to these things that will be coming in the very near future? Absolutely. So I think in some ways we have to be a little bit more patient, but at the end of the day, I'm sure that these things will be addressed. I mean, overall, yes, again, I know that there are some people that are a little bit angry, but I think that they do a really good job of keeping in touch with their audience and with their user base, both in their forums and in their Discord. And I think at the end of the day, they're doing as much as they can do. And I mean, I'm sure there's always going to be people that'll say, well, they could do this differently and it would be better, or they could do that differently and it would be better. But I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below, especially if you're a PS4 player, because at the end of the day, I cannot express the same, like, experience with the game that some of the PS4 people may have. Again, I am a PC player, and my views on the game may end up being different than the views of a PS4 player that has put in a lot of hours, because I can only imagine how infuriating it would be to be a couple hours deep into a co-op session and then immediately be disconnected and lose all of your progress. I can only imagine how incredibly frustrating that is, and I'm not downplaying issues like that at all. So again, I think that there's a lot to be considered here, especially in terms of co-op issues and issues that erase progress. Because, I mean, let's not forget, like, right when the game came out, there were people that were having glitches where their entire save game would be wiped, and a lot of people on Xbox actually had that issue. So yes, the game's launch has not been without its bumps and rocks, and I mean, it's just like in the game itself. But yes, it may have been, there may have been some slightly rocky points at launch, but I think for a completely new experience, I think the game is still doing a great job, and I can't wait to see where this game goes in the future with the new phases of development, and when we potentially start to see more info about mods on consoles. So that's where I'm going to end this talk, and that's where I'm going to end this topic, and I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below on where you think the game is going, how far you think the game has come, and if you think these PS4 issues are game-breaking, and if it's something that will make you not play the game until they fix them. So with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, let me know your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you guys later.